Hello, my name is Nancy Huerta Ramirez, and this is my article summary, Moral Panic and Social Justice, a guide for analysis social problems. Moral panic is the creation of a perceived threat outside the social norm, produced by an individual or minority group which it seems as threatening the dominant group in society. Moral panic are tied to mechanisms of social control. To maintain the status quo for those in power, as Eversman and Bird explain in their study, moral panic is structured by four components: the enemy, the victim, and the actual threat from the enemy's actions, and the action from the general society. The enemy is usually an individual or group whose belief systems differ from the norm. Eversman and Bird explain that minority and marginalized social groups who lack influence over policymakers are often friends of the enemy. The victims are typically the majority middle class or the group that have influence over policy changes. The media serve as the channel to communicate the actual threat from the enemy's action. However, much of this information is distorted or exaggerated about the frequency or intensity of the threat if ignored, such that the endeavored panic often suddenly dissipates. Moral panic is influenced by political, social, and economic interests in a democratic society, where the message is transmitted by influential or powerful figures such as clergy, politicians, and celebrities. The ultimate goal is to push for policy changes that benefit those who initiate the moral panic. The article focuses on three issues: illicit drugs, sexuality, and immigration, and how these social issues have targeted minority groups, leading to the creation of laws such as Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1966, which left an enduring deleterious legacy on African Americans and communities of colors. The issue of sexuality led the American Psychiatric Association to categorize homosexuality as a mental health disorder in the first diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health, published in 1952. Finally, on the issue of immigration, the author notes that there is a long history of demonizing a specific immigrant group in the form of racial hostility and discrimination. Moral panic has long infused U.S. immigration policies with radicalized fear from the Alien Enemy Act of 1998. The article also discussed the important role of social work in society, particularly in addressing moral panic. Social workers play a crucial role in intervening in moral panic situations by addressing the consequences of social dysfunction and social control by addressing its cause. Key theme of the article in relationship to social work macro practice. The key macro themes include in the macro practice were three U.S. social policies arenas affecting population relevance to social workers: illicit drug policies, policies affecting lesbian, gay, and bisexual LGBT communities, and immigration policies. These themes include power dynamics and the criminalization and legal system, and the impact of social justice movement. Power dynamics. Moral panic is tied to power structures such as influential or powerful figures like clergy, politicians, and celebrities. Social discourse determine how society understands and ultimately define deviances, a process that often instigates an official response. Moral panic aimed to criminalize vulnerable groups, which led to the implementation of law and policies. Criminalization in the legal system. Policies driven by moral panic led to the criminalization of certain behaviors and groups, which it seems in areas like drug policies, immigration law, and LGBTQ rights. Impact of social justice movement. Social justice movement aim to expose the harm caused by moral panic and challenge discriminatory. Social justice movement aim to expose the harm caused by moral panic and challenge discriminatory systems, advocating for policy changes that align with values of fairness and equality. These themes are integral to macro social work practice, which require a focus on influencing policies, engaging in advocacy, and promoting social change at a systematic level. Identify applicable concerns and strengths associated with social work values and ethics. Social workers must carefully evaluate the circumstances under which particular behaviors associated with specific populations are classified as deviant and become target of social control. The National Association of Social Workers does not directly address moral panic, but has a set of code of ethics that guide social workers to address issues at the macro level. Some of the strengths associated with social work values, including responsibilities, are found as follows. Social justice. The Code of Ethics Section 6.4b established that social workers should act to expand choice and opportunities for all people, with special regards for vulnerable, disadvantaged, oppressed, and exploited people and groups. Social welfare. The Code of Ethics Section 6.01 states that social workers should promote the general welfare of society, from local to global levels, and the development of people, their community, and their environment. Social workers should advocate for living conditions conducive to the fulfillment of basic human needs, and should promote social, economic, political, and cultural values and institutions that are compatible with the realization of social justice. Professionalism. The Code of Ethics Sections 4.02 Discrimination specify social workers should not practice, condone, facilitate, or collaborate with any form of discrimination on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, color, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, age, marital status, political belief, religion, immigration status, or mental or physical abilities. Cultural competence. Section 1.05 states social workers should obtain education about and demonstrate understanding of the nature of social diversity and oppression with respect to race, ethnicity, national origin, color, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, age, marital status, political belief, religion, immigration status, and mental or physical abilities. Some of the concerns or limitations associated with social work values can include social injustice, often intersect with the issue of limited community resources and the challenges in providing advice within oppressive systems. Discussion questions. How will you, as a social worker, address moral panic in your current practicum placement or in the general social work field? And what step will you take to advocate for marginalized communities when resources are unavailable to address their needs? Thank you for watching my video. See you in class.